Welcome to IABM TV, and I'm now joined by Ed Abbis, who's the Managing Director of Dizplai. So Ed, tell us about your services.
So we are a content agency very much driven by software. We work with content producers to help them make content more engaging for the viewers, essentially.
Okay, and can you give me some examples of that?
Yeah, lots of examples, and we're working across linear broadcasters, OTT, YouTube, content creators as well. So some of the things we've done is some of the work with Sky Sports, for instance, where we've helped them to create an interactive boxing scorecard where as you're watching the boxing at home, you scan a QR code on screen and then you can score the fight round by round, fully integrated into the whole production workflow, whereby they then bring in the viewer's verdict, as they call it, as part of the fight, which really helps to drive the editorial narrative of what the commentators are discussing as they see the fight.
Because we talk a lot about the user experience, and this sounds to be like you're fully embracing that and you're part of that solution, driving it forward.
Absolutely. I mean, we very much see that as that you need interconnectivity between the viewer and the producers, so trying to use the insights that the viewers generate to inform ultimately the producers and to drive that editorial narrative of the content, because ultimately then the content's just better.
So it's acting like a feedback system as well?
Absolutely, yeah, but not, I suppose, in the traditional sense that it would have been done before, where, you know, it's simple questions and, you know, we do those kind of things, but actually now I think there's been a realisation when we've worked with producers that you can actually get far more into the detail of I guess, trusting the audience's opinion, and actually the audience can give far more to you than you probably ever imagined before.
Right. So how does what you're doing differ from traditional television, what we call traditional television?
I think it's trusting the audience and actually opening up the audience. It's not being afraid of the great unknown, that actually asking the audience's opinion in any way, shape or form. So like it could be the boxing scorecard we talked around there, or it could be the kind of things we do with TNT Sports, where they're doing UFC live watch-along shows, or something that they did for the first time last week, where I think they had Rob Beckett, the comedian, and one of the in-betweeners actors in a studio with some of their experts, where they were watching the UFC, and this went out on linear television, but the fans were also able to ask them questions as they were doing this as well. Nice. So it was a relatively simple thing to see, but the interactivity and the connectivity that was going on with it was quite complicated.
Sorry, and this all happens in real time?
This all happened in real time and live, and you know, the producers ultimately are using the software services that we supply and the graphic service that we supply to be able to control all this live.
It's incredible. It's almost like the audience is then driving the content.
Absolutely, and I think it's like anything. I always look at content producers almost as marketeers. That ultimately, you know, we have a choice in terms of the kind of content that we want to use, and I think when you involve the audience in the content and they feel like they're shaping it, they're just inherently more connected to it, and they feel part of it. It turns into community experience.
Excellent. So looking forward, what do you see the major trends over the next 5 years?
I think seeing more of this. I think like something specifically that we saw with I mean, it used to be that sort of the YouTubes of this world sat on their own, and let's call it linear broadcasting sat on its own, but we're now seeing those lines blurring. So TNT specifically, we've been doing UFC live weighing shows with them for the past few years, and they've been so successful on YouTube that actually now they go out on linear as a broadcast as well. And I think you'll see more of that kind of programming, because, you know, we talked about this earlier as we were preparing for this, that, you know, a live watch-along show might not perhaps appeal to us, but the younger audiences do have a greater ability, I think, to watch let's call it the more traditional broadcast that might be happening, but also a community experience that might be happening, such as the United stand, where we work with Mark Goldbridge and his team, where, you know, ultimately he doesn't have any rights to the Man United games or any other Premier League games on a Saturday afternoon or of an evening, but he's running a whole live interactive experience as that game's going on, and people at home have got the game on, but also got him on another screen as well, and are actually, it's almost like that conversation in the pub that's happening, but with someone who's got very strong opinions, and you know, turns into a meme often as well because of some of the funny things he does if Man United are win, losing or drawing.
Yeah, sounds incredible. Well, thank you for joining us, and if there's anything else you need to hear from Ed, then go and see him on his stand at Dizplai.